Hello.
You found us.
Welcome to Emergency Protocol, a podcast for people who are stressy and depressy.
We are your hosts,
Denise
and Jackie Freed. That's my mama.
And that's my baby.
We are sharing our 12 steps reimagined for today's society.
And our bumpy, pothole-ridden spiritual paths.
And we're bringing you along for the ride.
This is us doing the actual work.
When the shit hits the fan, you know it's time for
Emergency Protocol. Hi.
Hello.
We're here again.
We're back.
All right, Jackie said, why don't we start with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to read the 12 steps for everyone starting with every episode now. So that's going to be a new little thing we're going to do.
It'll feel kind of like meeting vibes, but not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crosstalk meeting.
Kind of to set it up for like what the vibe is, what it is that we're centering our kind of conversations around, and the work that we're doing. So.
Because we know.
We know.
And you guys know.
May know.
Maybe.
Again, if you're not driving, close your eyes.
Mm.
Think about what you are grateful for. And just take a deep breath in. And exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to let Jackie read this.
Oh, okay. Great. Happy to. The 12 steps for everyone. Step 1. We are not okay. We have not been okay. We are not getting better on our own. Step 2. We believe we are worthy of getting better and that things will get better. Step 3. We decide to trust that something bigger is taking care of us. Step 4. With courage, honesty, and curiosity, we write the stories of the fears, shame, and resentments we carry with us. With step 5, with vulnerability and integrity, we share this inventory with someone safe and trustworthy. Step 6, we trust that we will be guided to recognize thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve us or the greater good. Step 7, our actions are based in humility and in the service of our highest and best selves. Step 8, we list each of the harms we've caused that require amends. Step 9. We seek healing for the wounds we've caused through direct amends, except when doing so would cause further harm. Step 10. We maintain a daily practice of reflection, amends, and forgiveness. Step 11. We welcome mindfulness, grace, and gratitude into our thoughts and behaviors. Step 12. Awaken to our higher selves, we apply this practice and share our experience, strength, and hope with others. Yeah.
Yay.
Feels good.
Does feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So, lots going on.
So much going on.
And also not going on. Like right this minute, not going on.
Right here in this room.
Right here. Yes, not going on. But out in the future, lots going on. Which is occupying our here not going on space.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know about you because I have this trip looming.
Yeah.
I feel the kind of weight of like, what do I need to do to prepare? And what hasn't been planned and what hasn't been accounted for, and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And you have a bigger coming up transition than just a trip for 2 weeks.
I have trips and transition.
Right.
I've got two international trips and to move halfway across the country.
So quality problems on all fronts.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday, we were in a different 12-step space together. And I was saying, like, I have just been trying to, like, build that muscle, right? The step 3 muscle, which is like, for me, my something bigger is universal mother. like universal mother's taking care of me. Trusting myself to know that like universal mother's got my back and I've got my back, right? Like I have a plan and I'm chipping away at it. And there are other people in my life who are not as convinced that I am doing this and capable. Not that I can't do it, but it's not the way that they would do it. And I've had a couple moments over the last few weeks where I am like, you know, interacting with people and I can feel it creeping in on my like energy and my body. And I had a moment the other day where I was like, hold on, like pump the brakes. That is not my experience or my feelings. So why am I taking that on? Right. And I was literally like shaking it away.
Yeah. But that's interesting because even just being aware of taking on somebody else's stuff is a whole new thing. Like, you know, oftentimes we just take on, you know, when I'm around people, especially now who are spinning into their anxiety or anger or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like watching it going, wow, you know, like that's a lot, you know, and I don't have to fix them, right? Like I don't have to fix them. And I also don't need to take it on for myself. And so just being able to reset, it was something I wrote about yesterday because I write a newsletter out to the people I manage every week. And I was saying that I made a decision, which is kind of like this, decide to trust that something bigger is taking care of us. But I also made a decision to be grateful. And in making that decision, I feel so much better. Like the last few weeks, I've just been practicing gratitude and positivity and all of those things. And I still can read the news. I still can take action. I still can make donations. I still can do what I need to do and feel some outrage around stuff. But I also am not taking it and then swirling in it. And so I'm like, okay, yes, that's outrageous, unacceptable. And I'm still grateful for my life and my world and my people and what's going on. And all these little, and I guess just kind of looking for the magic and kind of the, it was the magic and kind of curiosity in each moment and seeing what shows up. All of these beautiful little things. Like I learned about a couple of new people that have recently gotten sober that I didn't know were there. And, you know, they're brand new and it's really hard. It's really hard to give up something that you're used to giving up. And it brought me so much joy that I get to see it and be part of it and know, and they know that I am someone they can lean on, you know, and it was like such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to give in that way. Rather than helping somebody directly. I like sponsoring. I mean, there's a gift in the sponsorship, but I think it's different to show up for somebody who's struggling to make changes for the better in themselves than it is to show up for somebody who's just spinning out of control,
who's not looking self-help,
not looking for any help and not looking for things to get better. Right. And so, you know, I'm just noticing that. And it's like, oh, I'm not going to give my attention to that, but I am going to get my attention to this. And in this, the deciding again of where I'm going to allow that energy to come in has been a big difference in the last few weeks. So I just feel like super grateful that, I don't know, I just feel super grateful. It's nice because I haven't, like, since the beginning of this year, it's been rough. It has been a challenging year and we are in May and I'm like, okay, I gave up like 4 months of crazy town. Now I am taking this power back. And because I have, it's nice.
I feel like also, I mean, on a personal bleeding heart liberal level, I'm like, I feel like there's been some like stronger pushback against stuff like tariffs, which I feel like there's, a big conversation around everything that's happening nationally, and, everybody has differing opinions, and I can kind of respect that people have different opinions, but I'm seeing it in the small businesses that I interact with on a daily basis. Like one of my go-to closing gifts I order from Etsy for my clients, and I reached out and I was like, hey, it's so weird. I had this like hoarding response when I ordered my most recent one. I was like, hey, do I need to pre-order a bunch and just have them waiting in the wings? Like, are your supply chains going to be disrupted by this, or will you be affected by what's happening? And they're like, oh no, like most of my stuff comes from, I think they said Turkey. And so they seemed like it would be fine, or maybe it was Poland or something, someplace unusual that I wasn't expecting. And they were like, it should be fine. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's great. Happy to hear that. But then the store that I worked at is like, yeah, definitely feeling the changes.
We have to raise our prices.
Yeah. Well, yeah, prices are being risen on us. So
yeah, so they're going to be passed along to the consumer.
Yes. And not in a gougy way, but just in a like, this is the increase.
Yeah.
Some people are definitely gouging.
Yes.
I'm sure that's out there. But yeah. And so I was talking to the manager there, and I was like, hey, like, like what's been your experience ordering all this stuff? Like, what do I need to stock up on? And they were like, the time that was like 2 orders ago. Like, that's already happened. But I think there's also been a lot of like pushback against that this week in ways that feel like our representatives are on all different sides are kind of saying like, what is going on,
enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
and
saw
so that
something
feels
about
really good.
The women of the Supreme Court kind of stood up for, I'm like, finally, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So lots of good things happening, and it's like, oh yeah, this is not solely on my shoulders to try to fix this, right? Which I know logically, but in terms of like my desire to be a helper, I feel I really struggle with being powerless. And so I'm also in a place now where I'm like, I've become better at recognizing, kind of like what you were saying the other day about different ways that you can interact with the program in a 12th step way. It's like there are different avenues to interact with like advocating for your values and beliefs, and they're not all necessarily showing up to a protest. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the thing of like making these, taking on these steps is I don't feel the weight of the world. In that serenity prayer is like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, right? So there's some things I can't change, and I'm asking for some serenity around that. The courage to change the things I can. So like that's going to require me to be a little uncomfortable. And then the wisdom to know the difference is like that last piece where it's like, oh, I need to know where those are. Where is it that I don't have the power to change it? And where is it that I do have the power to change it? And in like kind of isolating those as separate, there is a big weight off the shoulders. It's like, oh.
It's like that sign. Did you see that protest sign? It was like, I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept.
Yes.
I loved that.
Yes.
And then in the ACA version of that, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families, their version of the Serenity Prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the one I can, and the wisdom to know that that one is me. Which we've shared on here before, but like just love it. The first time I heard that, it exploded my brain because it's the same thing, but just having it, that one word switch was like, oh.
And I not jokingly, and also what the fuck moment was when, and Jackie invites me to this ACA meeting, right? So it's adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families. And I'm like, I don't know if this is an honor or what, but I'll go with you. Like, we'll probably be the only mother-daughter in this whole group.
Maybe ever.
And And I was like, so I ordered this book, which is, it is a thick ass book. And I read the cover, and I've known about ACA. People over the years have talked about it. I've never gone.
Because a lot of people interact with multiple 12-step programs.
Right. And I get this book, and I'm like, adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families? Like, how did I never know that last piece of this was... as part of that thing. I was like, oh, who doesn't qualify for that? Like, is there anybody that doesn't qualify for that? I think everybody would qualify for that. But
I mean, ACA DF doesn't have the same ring to it.
So, So I also want to say we have committed to and have decided to have an online meeting around these steps.
It's officially official. Flag has been planted in the thing. Liz, our marketing genius, is on it. And it's going to be on Sunday mornings,
10 a.m.
Pacific.
Starting,
I think it was the... planted the flag
June 18th, which is Father's Day.
Yes.
We figured it was okay to start it on Father's Day just because Mother's Day tends to be brunch and Father's Days
15th.
Okay, and Father's Days tend to be barbecue. So
later
we figured we weren't interfering with the Father's Day brunch situation because that's just not what everyone's selling us on. So most people don't do that. Most people take Dad out for some steak, beef,
meat sweats.
We're gonna barbecue.
Yes,
have meaty things. Anyway, so we're gonna have it Father's Day, June 15th, 10 a.m.
There's a sign up form that'll be in the show notes. But it's also on our website.
Yes.
So that'll be there. We're collecting emails to send out the Zoom link.
Yep.
Yeah.
So join us in person. We'd love to see you there.
It'll be basically this same. Well, I guess it's not really relevant because not a ton of people have been to our in-person meetings. I mean, we've had some, but it's not like. Yeah. No,
our little studio only fits 6 people. Yeah. So
it's a little tight.
Yeah.
But basically it's just going week. Are we doing week by week or every other week or one step a month? What did we decide?
I don't know I don't think we've firmed that up because we started because this is the thing. This is all a process. Yeah, we start writing.
This is the BTS.
And we start looking at these steps and we start thinking about what prompts because part of the structure of the meeting is to have a little bit of sharing and then a little writing prompt and then everybody can come back and share what they wrote about or not, whatever they're comfortable. But in the way that I've been taught and the way that we're trying to create are very different. And so my questions are a lot more on the nose and harder and Jackie's are a lot softer. And so we're playing with the language to figure out how to make this work not so scary and make it more accessible and make it feel better. So approaching it, I think, more with curiosity rather than where am I a bad person?
Right.
And that's challenging to find this language because the way that I've been taught and what I've read and how I've done it is a certain way.
Which was the way that was not helpful for me from the beginning.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't helpful for me in the beginning either.
That's
because
the thing.
But it was
the shame-based intensity of it is really helpful for people who are trying to make an acute behavior change. Right away. Right? That's why it's so successful, these programs, right? But for me, I already have enough shame and anxiety on my own. I'm already...
Well, we all do too.
Sure. Yeah. But to have that come from an outside source too, and be that's just...
Yeah. So we're trying to make it so that the questions get answered, but in a better, more, not holistic, but just in a softer way so that you're
more cozy.
Yeah. So it's more cozy and it's more inquisitive and it's more like a introspection rather than a blaming, where am I bad? Yeah. So
Yeah.
So we're working on it. So we'll figure out what our cadence is going to be, because we haven't figured out how long is it going to take to do this, and we want to make it so that people who don't come 1 week can still get the information and kind of move on. So it might be 2 weeks. I would say either 2 or 4 weeks we'll do a step. But I think 2 weeks would be
good. 2 weeks sounds too short or good?
No, or we just go through, because you don't need to be anywhere just to hear it and relate to some of it. So we could just do 1 week and just keep going, because that's 3 months.
Yeah.
For all 12, because otherwise it's going to be a year. Anyway, we have some logistics we need to work out, but it doesn't matter, because we're going to be working it out before we start, but we're going to start in June. Hard start. So go to our website, 12 Steps for Everyone, and sign up on our jot form, and we hope you'll join us, because that's going to be super cool.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah. And then in the meantime, I'm organizing this women's retreat, which I do every year. And that sold out like within 2 weeks, which never happens. I mean, I don't have that many rooms. It's like 24 rooms. But now I'm like, oh, I need all 30 rooms. And it's interesting to see how this work is informing how I want to structure that. Right? Like,
interesting.
I really loved a question that Jackie posed the other day when we had our meeting here. Can you guess which question it was?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was probably, what have you left unsaid?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was really like, ooh, that is a great question.
Yeah, we had some inspiration hits this week, which are very exciting, because that's how this whole project has kind of been, right? It's like we sit and we kind of puzzle things out and dialogue and engage with stuff, and I'll like try to start working the steps as they are or whatever with like the framework that we have, and we're in dialogue with Kim, our navigator, we'll call her.
I'll call her the shaman.
Yeah, right? Yeah, she's our second star to the right for sure. But then like something will click, right? And something just like, and then it's like, oh, that's obviously the right thing. Mm-hmm. But we don't know it until it reveals itself.
Right.
Right. I think that's one of my favorite parts of this whole process. It's like distilling it down to where we have that moment where we like look at each other and it's like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like when we were doing these steps, we were taking it and we're playing with language and we're looking up acronyms and we're just like, playing and like
thesaurus.com.
Right. Just like, no, that doesn't work. What is the meaning of that word? Like it sounds good, but what does the definition really mean?
Yeah.
And just digging into the kind of etymology of stuff.
Yeah.
I know I touched my nose.
Yeah.
She hates when I do that. But
yes.
But I didn't talk while I was doing it. So anyway, we're in this cool kind of flow.
Yeah.
And we're also like, how is this going to look when you're in college? How are we going to set up a second thing? I'm like, oh, well, I have another one of those lights you can take with you. And yeah, we have some, we have some stuff. So there's a lot, and it's also not so, it feels like a lot, but it also doesn't feel like too much, I guess is the way to put it. It's like, okay, it's a lot, but we'll get through it, and we'll get through it in a way that we get through it, that it feels good and not hurried and stressful and anxiety provoking. And we can just like keep plugging along.
I was going to say it's like eating an elephant, but I don't like that. I was thinking that and I was like, oh, like I don't want to eat an elephant. Yeah, it's like all these weird phrases. No wonder everybody was so scarred. Like, kill two birds with one stone, and many ways to skin a cat. Like, horrible. So I'm like, it's like eating a whole Costco sheet cake.
Okay,
one bite at a time.
Right.
That's the only way to do it.
Amazing.
Yeah. So interesting. I think that's also part of this though too, is like obviously being the like liberal arts bing bong that I am, I've always been aware of the importance of language, right?
Yeah.
But it really does color so much of how I think and how I process things and how I engage with the world, and recognizing that there's better ways to say things, like certain phrases or whatever. And so being more deliberate about that and like making a conscious effort to better that a little bit every day has been really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been having a good time. It's interesting. I mean,
It's weird.
It is weird, right?
Yeah.
Things feel good right now. I can't explain it, but I know part of it is, we've both been taking action in ways that foster feeling good.
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard for you to apply to grad school.
Yeah.
It was really hard to make a decision. Did you make a decision the last time we were talking?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and then you make the decision, and then the next day there's a tornado.
Yeah. Literally. It was like, I knew something was going to happen, right? It was going to be something that would make me like double think whether that, and then she goes, yeah, hero's journey, it's really making you just double down on like, is this the right thing? Yes, it's the right thing. So all of that, so many little logistics, and then also just like work, and also all the daily stuff too, right?
Work has been a lot. There's a lot coming at me at work right
busy
now, and it's very pointed, and it's some of it's uncomfortable, and some of it is not uncomfortable, but it's just a lot. Yeah. It's like, you're like, oh, let me catch my breath between sets here. And that's if you're not near an ocean, you don't know what I'm talking about. But when you grow up at the beach, you're in the water, and there's like a set of waves, and then then there's the set break, and there's like no waves, and you get to kind of just float around and enjoy the flatness of the ocean. And then the next set comes. And then there's sometimes where you feel like, oh, there's no break in the sets, where you're just like wave, 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 wave. And it's a lot sometimes when you're like, I'm just trying to catch my breath here.
Right. It's like, oh, gotta go back under.
Yeah. Yeah. So it feels a little bit like that at work right now. But also we're in this kind of sprint that we're doing, so it just feels like, okay, that's what we're doing right now. And I'm a good sprinter, and I've talked about that in the past too. I'm good with very short, fast projects that I could just run and then be tired and rest after. I am not a marathoner. And so for me, it is challenging too, because also in our I'm gonna go woo again. In our human design, both Jackie and I are manifestors. Yeah. We're not generators. So we come up with these ideas, but then we have to implement them, and it's like, fuck.
Right. It's like, who's on first? And we're both like, you go. You go.
So hopefully someday we'll actually make some money, and we can afford to pay somebody to be our generator.
Yes.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, oh, all those ops people at my office, they're all generators.
Oh, right? That would be super interesting to do everybody's human design. Maybe I'll, at the next office gathering, I'll bust that out.
Yeah. And so, it's just like looking at that, like what feels good and natural in ourselves. Yeah. And then what makes us like, oh, because this part is fun, recording. It's the back end where it's like editing and sending it off, and then listening, and then correcting, and then emailing back and forth, like all of that stuff. Yeah. She and I are like, did you email her? No, did you email her? Okay, where are we? You know what I mean? And that's just not the fun part. Yeah. And knowing that is a good thing, because then I'm not like beating myself up or beating Jackie up for not doing something. It's just not our personality type to do that kind of stuff. It still has to get done, but it's not natural for us to follow up on that the way it's natural for us to do this thing. And so, we're just zooming along. Also, I think it's going to be interesting with you in a third place, because it opens up this microphone.
Yeah, well, finally, you're going to hear some Gonna hear some other voices.
Yeah.
Not just us.
Yeah. So we
Which
can
is
invite some
pretty
locals
cool.
in because we're...
Or non-locals.
Yeah.
Come hang out in LA.
Yeah. She says as she's leaving LA.
Yeah.
Come hang out at my mom's house.
Yes.
I won't be
I'm
there.
welcoming you to the Freed house.
I won't be there, but yeah, come on.
Like, come on.
My mom loves having people over.
Oh, yes. You actually do, though.
I do.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so lots of interesting things, but yeah. So I think we covered most of what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope, please join us live in person on
You're
Zoom.
doing that voice again.
What?
You're doing your little high-pitched beggy voice.
Okay.
You were about to go, join us.
Join us.
Like the house buddy.
Join the group.
Okay. Anyways, what I think she was trying to say is that we would love some company. If you want to join us, I would love some company. It's really hard to do this work alone. It's something we talk about pretty much every time we talk about this. It's like this work is not meant to be done in isolation.
Right.
And I'm happy to guinea pig it, but I need people to do this with. So selfishly, please come to our online meeting and we can do it together. I would really love that.
So would I.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to meet new people.
Yeah.
And you are welcome here. And
And
also,
it might be a little bit uncomfortable too, right? Because it is like vulnerable work and it's kind of scary to show up into a place with strangers. I definitely felt that going into like my first online Al-Anon and ACA meetings. I was like, oh, like, okay, like here I am.
Right.
And then it's like a 4-person meeting in Hawaii that I'm like,
right. You can't hide out.
No, and they're like, who are you? In a kind way, but they're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, just checking things out.
That's the interesting part of going online.
But it's lower stakes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't have to get in my car and drive anywhere. It fits
Right.
into my schedule. It's a nice way to like, it was a good way for me to start participating in these things.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, I spoke at a meeting on Thursday night and one of my friends in Australia texted me afterwards. She was like, oh, it was so nice to see you tonight. And it's like, you know, you get to connect with people. I didn't even realize she was on the Zoom because it's in person and in Zoom.
And it recorded. Oh, cool.
And so that was super sweet to just know that I'm, you know, somehow connected with my friend in Australia. So, you know, you never know where people are coming from.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of resources you have out there or who you can tap in to be with, but we'll make it as safe a place as we can possibly make it for everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yay.
Yay.
All right.
All right. Drink some water. I literally haven't had any water except taking my meds
except
this
for,
morning.
you know, with in the coffee
Yes.
water. So
water in the coffee water. Yes.
all right.
Okay. I love you. Drink water. You're a miracle. I'm a miracle.
You're a miracle.
We're miracles.
Yes. All right.
And I don't mean that in a creepy religious way. I'm like, it is literally a scientific miracle that we all exist. It could also be a religious way, but I mean it like the fact that we all exist is actually
a miracle.
So,
All right.
great bake. We want to hear from you.
Find us on Instagram and TikTok at 12 Steps for Everyone. That's at the number 12 Steps for Everyone.
Please like and follow us. You can also send us topics you want us to dig into or follow-up questions from each episode.
And if you know someone who would enjoy or benefit from our conversations, please feel free to share this with them. All are welcome here.